You press the brake, and the steering wheel begins to quiver. Not just a little, but enough to make you feel like something's wrong. Most drivers immediately assume warped rotors, but that's only one piece of the puzzle. Your car can shake when braking for several different reasons, hidden in plain sight yet often overlooked. According to American Automobile Association Type A, vehicles 10 years or older are twice as likely to experience a roadside breakdown, and basic systems like brakes, tires, and hubs often play a major role. In this video, we'll shine a light on every real reason your car shakes when braking, from rotors and pads to suspension, bearings, and slide pins, and show you how to fix each one safely before it turns into a major repair. If you want real-world car maintenance advice that gets results, subscribe now and hit the notification bell to stay in the loop. Stick around to the end. I'll reveal one surprising cause of brake vibration that even many experienced mechanics miss. Quick Brake System 10101. Before we dive into the real reasons your car shakes when braking, let's quickly understand how the braking system actually works. Each time you press the pedal, hydraulic pressure travels through brake lines and pushes the calipers to squeeze the brake pads against the rotors, those round metal discs that spin with your wheels. This friction turns motion into heat, allowing your car to slow down smoothly and safely. But here's the catch. Every stop generates intense heat and pressure. Over time, even the smallest irregularity in any part of the system, whether it's a slightly warped rotor, uneven pad wear, or loose hardware, can upset that balance. When that happens, you feel it as a shake, a pulse, or a vibration through the steering wheel or brake pedal. That vibration is your car's way of telling you something in the braking chain is out of sync. And the sooner you understand what's behind it, the cheaper and easier it is to fix. Now that you know the basics of how the system works, let's uncover the most common causes that make your car shake when you press the brakes. Cause number 1. Warped or uneven rotors. One of the most common reasons your car shakes when braking is a warped or uneven rotor surface. The rotor is designed to stay perfectly flat so the brake pads can make full, even contact. But when the metal heats up repeatedly, especially during hard stops, long downhill drives, or when the wheels are over-tightened, it can lose that even a small variation, known as rotor runout, or thickness variation, is enough to create a vibration that you feel through the steering wheel or pedal. You might notice the shaking most at highway speeds, or during light braking, when the warped rotor passes through the pads unevenly. If ignored, it can cause premature pad wear, steering wobble, and longer stopping distances. The fix depends on the damage. Mildly uneven rotors can be resurfaced by a machine shop, but deeply warped ones should be replaced. When replacing, always clean the hub surface and tighten the wheel lugs evenly with a torque wrench. Uneven torque is one of the main reasons rotors warp again. So, if your steering wheel shakes every time you slow down, start by checking your rotors. It's often the root cause hiding in plain sight. Cause number 2. Uneven brake pad material transfer. Sometimes the rotor isn't warped at all. It's the brake pad material that's the problem. Modern pads leave a thin friction layer on the rotor to help braking stay smooth. But when pads get too hot, like after a sudden stop or when holding the brake pedal at a red light with hot brakes, the pad material can stick unevenly to the rotor's surface. That buildup creates high spots where the pad grips harder and low spots where it barely touches, causing vibration that feels exactly like rotor warping. Many mechanics misdiagnose this issue, leading drivers to replace rotors unnecessarily. You can usually spot uneven pad deposits if the rotor surface looks patchy or discolored. The best prevention is proper brake bedding, the process of gradually heating new pads and rotors through several gentle stops. Avoid keeping your foot on the brake after heavy braking to prevent uneven deposits. If the problem already exists, light resurfacing or replacing the pads and rotors together will restore smooth, even braking. Sometimes all it takes is proper pad conditioning to make your brakes feel new again. Top of form. Cause number 3. Worn suspension or steering components. If your car still shakes while braking even after checking the rotors and pads, the next suspect could be your suspension or steering system. Components like tie rods, ball joints, control arm bushings, and steering linkages are designed to keep your wheels steady and aligned. But when these parts wear out, even a slight amount of looseness allows the wheels to move back and forth under braking force. That movement translates directly into vibration in the steering wheel or body. You'll often notice this problem when braking from moderate speeds, especially if the car also feels unstable over bumps or during turns. Mechanics sometimes misread this as a brake-only issue, when in reality the shaking is amplified by loose steering or suspension joints. To diagnose it, lift the front end and shake each wheel by hand. If there's noticeable play, something needs attention. Replacing worn components not only stops the vibration but also restores steering precision and tire life. Remember, even the best brakes can't perform properly if your suspension isn't holding the wheels firmly in place. So before spending on rotors again, make sure your suspension is tight, balanced, and free from wear. Quick pause. If you're finding this guide helpful, hit subscribe now so you never miss more simple money-saving car tips. Cause number 4, wheel bearing or hub runout. Another often overlooked cause of brake vibration is a damaged wheel bearing or warped hub surface. Your rotors are mounted directly to the hub, so if that surface isn't perfectly straight, the rotor will spin unevenly every time the wheel turns. Even a few thousandths of an inch of runout can create a noticeable shake when braking. Bad wheel bearings can also cause a rhythmic humming or grinding noise that changes with speed. As the bearing wears, it allows the wheel to wobble slightly, which affects both braking smoothness and steering stability. Drivers sometimes mistake this for a rotor issue, replacing parts that aren't actually the cause. To confirm hub or bearing problems, a mechanic can measure rotor runout using a dial indicator. If the readings are off, the hub needs resurfacing or bearing replacement. It's critical to fix this early, as continued driving can wear out new rotors or pads prematurely. When your brakes feel uneven and your steering vibrates, don't overlook the hub. It's the foundation everything else depends. Cause number 5, caliper or slide pin problems. When your car pulls to one side or vibrates inconsistently while braking, the issue might be inside the caliper assembly. Calipers use pistons to push brake pads evenly against the rotors. But if one piston sticks or a slide pin seizes, one pad applies more pressure than the other. This imbalance makes one wheel brake harder, creating heat spots, uneven wear, and that shaking sensation you feel in the pedal or steering wheel. These problems often start with lack of lubrication or old brake fluid that's absorbed moisture, leading to corrosion. You might even notice a burning smell near one wheel after driving. To fix it, remove and clean the caliper slide pins, apply high-temperature grease, and make sure the pistons move freely. It's also smart to flush the brake fluid every 2 years to prevent rust inside the system. If one wheel feels hotter or wears pads faster, check your calipers first. A sticking piston can create serious imbalance across the whole brake system. Quick diagnosis guide. How to tell where the problem is. By now you've learned that brake vibration can come from many sources, but identifying where it's happening is just as important as fixing it. The good news: you don't need special tools to start diagnosing. You can learn a lot from how and when the shaking occurs. If your steering wheel shakes, the issue is most likely with the front brakes, usually a warped rotor, uneven pad contact, or a sticky caliper. If the entire car vibrates, especially during firm stops, the problem often lies in the rear brakes or hubs. A pulsing brake pedal usually points to uneven rotor thickness, while a vibration that happens only at higher speeds, even without braking, is typically caused by a wheel or tire imbalance. During your next drive, pay close attention to what you feel and when it happens. Does the vibration change with speed, or does it appear only under braking? Observing these small details helps narrow the cause quickly and accurately, saving time, money, and unnecessary part replacement. Fix options and prevention. Once you've identified the source of the shaking, the next step is choosing the right repair approach. If the rotors are only slightly uneven, you can resurface them using a precision brake lathe as long as they stay above the minimum thickness limit. But if they're deeply grooved, cracked, or worn too thin, replacement is the safer and longer-lasting option. Always replace rotors and pads in pairs, and torque your wheel lugs evenly to prevent future warp. Before installing a new rotor, clean the hub surface thoroughly. Even a small speck of rust or dirt can cause runout and vibration. After a brake job, perform a few gentle stops to properly bed in the new pads and rotors, ensuring smooth contact. To prevent problems later, Avoid holding your foot on the brake after long or hard stops, and do an occasional test drive to confirm everything feels balanced. Smooth driving keeps your brakes lasting longer and your car vibration. Final thought. So the next time your car shakes when you hit the brakes, don't panic. Now you know how to pinpoint the real cause and handle it safely before it turns into an expensive repair. Whether it's uneven rotors, sticky calipers, or suspension play, small issues caught early always cost less to fix. Taking a few minutes to inspect and understand your braking system can easily save you hundreds in repairs and help your car stay smooth, safe, and reliable on every trip. If this guide helped you understand what's really behind that shaking, hit subscribe and turn on notifications for more simple mechanic-backed car care videos every week. Drive safe, stay alert, and I'll see you in the next one, where we'll break down another hidden problem most drivers never notice. Top of form, bottom of form.